Absolutely not is normalizing the standard, period. If you bring the whole table, then you can sit with us. We're bringing all the uncomfy combos and creating an unapologetic space to drive the culture forward respectfully. Because it seems like everyone wants to keep their opinions in the comment section. Absolutely not. What is up, world? It's your girl, Allura, and we're back with your favorite podcast, Absolutely Not, hosted by yours truly, a girl with unpopular opinions. Be sure to tune in every week for your daily dose of controversy, featuring all of your favorite topics. Today on the show, we have Miss Cindy Noir. Hello. Our favorite content creator and motivational speaker. Period.
Thank you so much for having me.
Girl, thank you
Don't
for
start.
being here.
We just started.
Y'all, we've been laughing since
We've
she
been
got on
giggling
set.
all day, girl. Okay, seriously.
Period. It's a hair flip for me. Yes.
Had to get the hair out the way. How are you today?
I am good. How are you?
I am doing really good. It's been a stressful day, but it's ending on such a great note, so I can't complain.
Period.
I
I think so too. Like,
absolutely.
having you here has been such a breath of fresh air.
Okay, because people out here be people in it.
Seriously.
That's why I be in the house.
Yes, me
Okay?
too. For one, it's hot outside.
Okay.
And people get on my nerves. It's too much.
Put the second one over on the first. I'll be at home.
Yes, me too. Look, and I'll be having a blast.
Okay. By my lonesome, me and my dog. Do you have a dog?
Yes, I do.
What kind of dog do you have?
He's a toy poodle.
Ooh, cute little toy poodle. How old?
Yes, he's only 2.
Oh, mine is younger. I have a beagle. She is a little bit over 1, like 1 in about 6 months or so.
How much does she weigh?
She a little thick like me. So, I mean, she might be around 20 pounds, 20, 25 pounds.
Okay.
Something like that. So, yeah.
We should go to Katie Trail.
And will.
Yes,
Ain't no we should. Will.
Now, my son, he a little different.
So is mine.
He rides in a stroller.
Oh. Me too. You ain't got to worry about that.
Okay, yeah, because my son, he don't know how to act.
She has a car seat and everything.
Oh,
yes.
I love it.
Yes, absolutely. That's my child.
In my dog mom era.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad that you're here. I talk to you on social media and, I follow your posts. So actually seeing you face to face, like, you be keeping the same energy.
Through and through.
We love it.
I'm the same person. I like that. I mean, I think social media is such a space to be fake and like show up as somebody you're not in real life. And so I make it a point to where I don't change up. Like, who you see on the camera is who you're going to get in real life, because I feel like part of my brand is being authentic. That's really important to me, is maintaining that level of what you see is what you get. That's why I don't really do makeup as much. I like to just kind of keep it, I like to show variety.
I love
Nothing's
that.
wrong with wearing makeup at all. I just find that, like, so many, especially as women, sometimes we feel like who we are naturally, quote unquote, isn't enough. So I really like to embody and show that, like, every aspect of you is okay. There isn't one aspect of you that's better than the other. It's all welcomed. It's all enough. It's all okay. So
Absolutely.
That's really important to me. So yeah, I like to show that off.
And I'm so glad that you said that, because authenticity is something that we're really missing within, like, our culture.
Absolutely.
Due to the age of social media.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, this is a perfect segue into our topic for today.
Yeah.
You talked about authenticity, but what I'm noticing now, within Black culture specifically, is that our Black men don't get the same freedom or liberties to be their authentic selves. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Listen, I don't normally like to come to the defense of males, but that's very true. I find that when we look at how Black men are, what their expectations are in society, they have very little room for any kind of, to really breach past that. If you're not playing sports, if you aren't making music, what are you doing?
No,
and
seriously.
it really is condensed to, like, mainly those two, and maybe if your job has to make a certain amount of money, and that's about it. You have no real space to go beyond those skills without being questioned about your masculinity.
Yes.
And I find that to be very limiting. Like, goddamn, I can't do nothing around
No,
here.
not at all. You can't do nothing.
I can't do nothing. I can't want to draw. I can't want to. I find it to be very sad, because I've made tweets about it and talked about it on social media before, but I think that while white men did create patriarchy and Black men do, like, support it in their own ways, we also reinforce those beliefs as well.
I agree.
And a lot of times how we look at men and what we say is acceptable and what's not is reinforcing these very constricting ideals of what it means to be a man, and that isn't helping anything either. No. So it's like, we'll talk about wanting to dismantle patriarchy, but then we uphold these same unhealthy beliefs within ourselves and don't want to unpack that too. It's like, baby, that's part of it. So
Absolutely.
Like this whole sassy movement, I don't like it. I don't. I feel like it started off one way and it has completely detoured.
Yeah, now anytime a man talks sassy,
you just sassy.
Yeah,
sassy. It's like, you can't just say how he feels.
Yeah.
I mean, he ain't used not one little purr nowhere and he's sassy. That's ridiculous. And that combined with this trend of like, why are you a straight man wearing a bonnet? Why are you a straight man doing the most regular things? And it's like, okay, y'all are doing a lot. Y'all are getting on my nerves now.
Yeah,
like,
now you're policing everything.
And it's like, well, what can a man do then around you? And I think that women don't realize how much pressure we create and how much we facilitate in men's want or men feeling the need to be a certain way to get our acceptance.
Absolutely.
And it's like, they created that system and they're benefiting from it, but we also reinforced it. So what are we going to do about our part? You know? So that's kind of how I see that.
And it's interesting that you say that. Over the weekend, my friend graduated and we decided that we were going to go out. I'm not one to really go out, but we turned up this weekend.
I get it.
And after we went to a club, we ended up at the strip club. And I'm like sitting in here and I hate to be that person. But I'm like, damn, this is really sad.
What was sad about it to you?
The fact that, okay, it's a lot. I'm like sitting here, I'm like, this directly feeds into the patriarchy. And then you see women like literally breaking their necks on these poles just to grab a couple of ones, like, they literally probably scraped up only like $20. And then on top of that, they have to tip out as they leave. Like, what money do they get to keep? It's just too much. Like, do they even make enough to eat?
It varies. I follow some. Yeah. I'm not one myself, but I follow some. Like, how do you know? I follow them, okay? I ain't got it like that. They got a whole different level of raw in them. I ain't got it. But I do follow them, and they say that it fluctuates. But the whole sex work aspect of society is really sad. Like, when you look at the reality of it, OnlyFans, all of that, it's money there, but there's a lot. I follow them just to get their aspect of perspective of life and whatever like that. And a lot of times they'll say like, yeah, the money can be cool, but I've lost so much internally of having to deal with these kind of men, of like how they view me and how they sexualize me and all of that. And it's like, it's interesting how, you know, how we're seeing these articles coming up about how men are so lonely and how they're missing this level of, you know, connection or whatever, but they also continue to do things that lack connection and connectivity. I think that's one. Is that part of what was sad to you?
Yes. Not only that, but just how degrading the whole system is. Like, you see them breaking their necks, and then these men don't even have the decency to scrape up the money and give it to them. Like, they have to grab it off the floor half naked.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I didn't really like it.
Yeah.
It was beautiful, like the art of it.
I appreciate the art of pole dancing.
Yeah.
You know, I love to see, because you got some muscles, girl.
Yeah.
That core,
real muscle.
The Lord. So I appreciate the artistry of it, but I haven't been a strip club person because I don't want to see us in that way, and not seeing us in the sense of seeing our bodies or seeing us, you know, dancing, but the men part. Yeah. That's what I don't like seeing. It's like, I don't like when you can tell a man's gushing with his eyes.
Yes, it's disgusting.
God, I hate seeing that. So I haven't been to one because I just don't want to see the degradation part of it.
Yeah.
Or how men will talk about women like that. Like how they refer to them, they'll call them bitches. Yes. It's like, wait a minute, she's somebody's daughter, she's a person.
Yes.
Like, why are we, you know, there's just this automatic need to degrade women of certain professions. And it's like, I don't rock with that either. So I definitely understand why you feel like you were in there. It's kind of like, this is not.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I thought this was going to be it, but it wasn't a vibe at all. Yeah. Like, it was cool.
Yeah.
Just being able to watch it, but I just could not get with it.
It's hard when you see the systems of the society, like how they're placed, because you can't go and enjoy things
like
everybody else does. Because you sit there like, the patriarchy is crazy.
Real, yes.
Music booming, ass everywhere. You're like, man,
I can't even turn up.
Misogyny's away.
Yes.
Like,
I'm literally sitting there like this. I couldn't even look and enjoy myself. Like, it was not fun at all. I did not have a blast.
Yeah, I feel that. That's how I feel a lot of times. Like, going out, you know, with me being single, I'll be trying to go out and trying to meet men or whatever. And I'll be at the bar or restaurants and I'm like, I don't want none of y'all talking to me.
No, seriously.
I can see, like, y'all don't have the range, y'all don't have the median or the mode. And it's like, ooh.
Not the median and the mode? Girl.
It's very apparent that, like, I've talked about it before, but I feel like as somebody who tries to be authentic, when you step into that space, you realize just how many people out there are fake as hell, or they're putting on performance, which kind of goes back into the whole thing about men. A lot of men are performing. They're just being who they think we want them to be. And when I meet men who are like that, they're coming out to get, you know, I make this amount of money a year. Sir, what's your name?
Yeah.
Let's start with the basics.
What are your interests?
Like, what do you like to do on a Saturday?
Their whole personality trait is always money. And that definitely feeds into like black male hypermasculinity. Because I feel like as white men, you don't hear too much of them like bragging about how much
they're white men.
Exactly.
They're at the top of the privilege totem pole. So what they got to find their money for? They're white men. I mean, I don't think they have the same need to show off their masculinity in that sense.
Yeah.
Because they have the top level of privilege. So why flex?
Exactly.
You know? So I get why you might not see some, and there's some of them do. Some they Billy Bobby out there, you know, showing off. But there is, I think that the fact that they are white men and they have that inherent privilege, it results in them not feeling the need to do as much.
Exactly.
And that's unfortunate. And that goes into, you know, how race plays in the patriarchy and everything. But I think a lot of times, black men feel the need to assert what makes them a man because their manhood be under attack a lot of times. Like, I hate to defend them. Girl, like that. It's taking a lot out of me.
It's taking a lot out of me too. Y'all already know this platform is absolutely not.
Oh my God! But it's true. It's true.
And I feel like black male hypermasculinity. Well, just to even break down that phrase, anything that's hyper is automatically a trauma response. That's what I was thinking about as I was breaking down that phrase. But then my question was, trauma to what? Trauma to a lot of things, how they were brought up, slavery, maybe losing a loved one results in that type of response. And it could also be a result of like sexual assault at a young age. I've seen like my younger cousins, they'll fall down and like hurt themselves. And instead of like being comforted or nurtured, you'll hear my uncles like, oh boy, quit crying. Boys don't cry. And I really hate seeing that. It didn't faze me as a younger girl, but now that I'm older and I'm understanding like how this affects society and the type of man he's gonna grow up to be, it really worries me.
Honestly, I pray for when I have kids. I pray because I'm gonna be fighting everybody.
No, seriously.
Uncle Bobby, what'd you say? You want to step outside? Because I feel like between boys and girls, I'm gonna be fighting left and right.
Yeah.
Because the way that society tries to condition black kids from a young age to be a certain way, I'm not having it, because it starts with boys don't cry. You're being a girl and framing being a girl as a bad thing to a boy. That's how it starts. And then you're wondering why they're at 30 and having crisis they was 2. Yeah. Where did it start from?
Exactly.
You know, and at this point, yes, these men need to go to therapy, but that should not be the only option, the only solution. We should be raising boys better than this. And I find that like that whole don't cry, don't show your emotions, that is the worst thing to tell a man. You make him despise part of his human nature. And
exactly.
I don't like it. I don't like it. You know?
Girl, I also think that part of the trauma that we carry is deeply rooted in slavery.
Absolutely.
Our black men were beaten, they were tortured, assaulted, and then not only that, but they had to watch their wives.
They were emasculated in some of the most sadistic ways.
Yes.
And I think that mentally, emotionally, physically, sexually, I mean, we can go down the list. But I think that it didn't just stop at slavery. It continued on through Jim Crow, civil rights, mass incarceration, the crack epidemic. I mean, it's still, police brutality is still happening to where, as a black man in this society, your blackness will always be a setback, quote unquote, to your manhood, which is weird because they're men, so they have some privilege in that respect, but then they're black, so that same privilege is kind of taken away in a sense.
Exactly.
And it creates this really weird back and forth to where they'll benefit and also not at the same time, you know?
I completely agree with you. And similar to your point, after like having all of these catastrophic events happen in their lives, they now feel the need to pretty much show off their dominance or like redefine masculinity, which has turned into hypermasculinity, which is now the standard of masculinity across the board, which is why we don't typically hold white men to the same masculine standards as we do black men. And same thing with black femininity versus white femininity. It looks completely different.
And, you know, that's why one thing I don't like, and this might kind of veer off, but we'll see. One thing I don't like is when black women are held to the same standard of being feminine as white women, because it's like we will never have the same. It'll never look the same. And not to go down that road, but to kind of go down that road, it's always, it's frustrating to me when black men try to pose us against each other and say, well, you know, white women, they're nicer, they're more docile, they're this, they're that. It's like, well, why? Can you look at society and our history and see why that's the case? And why? I'm trying not to bash them, but it's like, why? Why is the case that they're much more docile? And I mean, if you look at history, that's how they've been for a reason too, because they're also privileged. You can't hold us in the same situation because we don't have the same kind of privileges they have. So that's not fair to us. Same way it isn't fair to y'all, you know? So I find it to be, as a black woman, I find it to be very frustrating that our history has hypermasculinized us. Yes. And we're trying to redefine what it means to be feminine for us while under being attacked that ours isn't the right way to be feminine. And it's like, okay, we've both been displaced in this system. So why can't we both define it for ourselves and respect the definition? Absolutely. Why does it have to match what they do? You know, that's kind of how I look at it. So yeah.
And that's how I felt when I saw the soft lifestyle trend, like on the rise. I was just, for one, I couldn't relate. And two, it felt very performative.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Just doing absolutely too
Honestly,
much.
the feminine coaches, the feminine, all of those trends, to me, it just feels like white aesthetics just repackaged.
Pretty much.
And it doesn't feel, and I'm not saying that we're suffering and that's what we're supposed to, you know, adhere to. I'm not saying that, but when I would watch black women trying to adopt soft life, all you're doing is doing what Becky doing. Yeah. And it's just you're a black girl doing it. It ain't too much different from that, you know? And I wish we would just kind of define it for ourselves and not be so pressed to emulate what they do. Absolutely. That's not the only definition, you know? And I think that there's a way to find balance in being aware of and acknowledging your past, where you come from, and finding softness in that, not without having to reject it completely, you know? Exactly. So I don't like it. I don't like it.
And that's where that word hyper comes in. Like they're being performative.
Absolutely.
But I also feel like because gender has been split into two segments where you have like the masculine and the feminine, that's where we become either hyper feminine or hyper masculine. But those that are hyper masculine tend to look down on those who are a little bit more feminine, which is where you see like homophobia, misogyny, and the overall toxic masculinity. Yes,
it's so bad. It's so bad.
And I feel like
I just don't understand why folks don't mind their business.
No, for real.
It's free. it don't cost a damn thing. Why are you worried about what somebody else is doing? That's what, like, we're on a floating rock in the middle of nowhere. Why do you care what someone else is doing with their life? I cannot wrap my brain around that. Like, there are so many more important things to worry about than who someone likes. Whether you approve it or not, I don't care how you feel. I don't want you. You know, like, what does it matter? And when I listen to us talk, sometimes it's like, you're worried about the wrong things. Yeah. Worry about them bills.
No, for real.
Worry about that
What's
check.
in your bank account?
Chase that bag first. Let's worry about more important things. Why are we worried about somebody else's lifestyle, you know? I find it to be very distracting from actual real issues. Like, mass incarceration is still happening.
Exactly.
It's modern day slavery. Let's worry about that. Where's the concern for that?
It directly feeds into the dehumanization of black men as well.
And we facilitate in that.
Absolutely.
It's you know, white supremacy, they won. They won. They won us real bad. Like, the white supremacist ideology has us wrapped. And watching us argue with each other about dumb shit over and over again and not unifying to combat these really real issues, it's like, wow. y'all might have won. Y'all might have ate. Y'all might have ate because we are down bad. You know, I have a question though. You were talking about hypermasculinity and hyperfemininity. What is your opinion on Miss Sprinkle Sprinkle? I'm gonna sip while you.
I mean, I love a good laugh. Mm-hmm.
This is a sweet red.
Yes.
Okay.
I love a good laugh. She's very entertaining.
Yes.
And she makes good points. Mm-hmm. But I also feel like she uses sex worker tactics within a relationship. But also, unfortunately, I hate to say this, but a lot of relationships now are merely based on sex anyway. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, there's no actual love. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it works for today's society. However, it doesn't really work for me. Mm-hmm. Okay. What do you think about her?
I don't know how to feel about her. I don't know. Your points are how I feel as well. I find her humorous.
Yeah.
She's funny to me. But my issue is that there are women out there who don't find her funny. They're actually taking notes.
No,
and viewing her
seriously.
As like female Kevin Samuels, if you will. Mm-hmm. And it's like, ooh, she's not for that. She's not for that. And I've watched a good bit of her content, her advice, and I find it to be... It depends on what you're looking for, like you said. Like, if you're wanting an actual substantial partnership with somebody, she is not the kind of advice you should be taking at all. But more of a transactional, then by all means, go for it. Yeah. But I find her to be more of a parody to me.
I agree.
Than someone to actually take seriously. But, like, I will read comments and I'll see tweets about it, and people are like, you know,
really
she's the truth. She's the truth. I'm like, wait a minute,
she's a genius.
She's funny.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it is.
She's entertaining.
She's an entertainment piece, but we're not going to call her the truth. That's a lot. I think that
a lot of pressure.
She has the potential to really sway a demographic of women into believing that, like, caring about his money and that's it is the best way to go about things. And it's dangerous because I see why she's saying that, because so many men are money focused. Yeah. But at the same time, in a patriarchy, money is power. Exactly. And that power can be abused. And
that is
if you are so focused on a man's money, you run the risk of allowing a man into your life who is not good for you to be around, you know, who will use that money to have power over you. So I don't like to lead with money. And money does matter. I get it. We got to get the bills paid. I get it. But when you are looking at money as the end all be all, it's like, ooh, you're playing a game, a dangerous game at that. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I follow sex workers, and they'll talk about how, like, you're playing a dangerous game. It's the reality of being a sugar baby, or
they get abused on a daily
they go
basis.
through stuff.
Yeah.
They go through a lot, and these men be showing sides of them that, like, the public doesn't see. Mm-hmm. So they don't think it exists, but it does. And so it's like, that's why her rise is kind of like, we got to be careful, because these babies will come out here who are impressionable in their early 20s, who will look to her as guidance and run the risk of being around men who are not good influences whatsoever.
And that's money, how you easily fall
financial
into
abuse is very, very real.
Yes.
And I don't think people downplay that a little bit too much for me. And so when you're looking to make, like, I understand the 50-50 debate, everyone's talking about paying bills every other day. It's aggravating. So I get, you know, wanting a man to provide for you in that way, but you have to be careful with who that man is.
Exactly.
And one thing that I'm big on.
Because you can find a man to provide for you.
Okay. I love to say that any man can buy a bag. Mm-hmm. It takes something. There's no mark of integrity, character to buy a bag, to pay some bills. Mm-hmm. Who is that guy? Like, where is his character? Where does he lie in his morals, his values?
But I think that's what the world is missing, though. Yeah. They don't care about that anymore.
Don't give a damn.
Even men, when it comes to women, like, a lot of men talk about how they don't have the ability to be vulnerable. Mm-hmm. But I also think that women that they're talking about are typically your Instagram famous girl.
Definitely IG honey.
Yeah.
And, you know, let me switch my seats. What I find about that topic, what bothers me about men who say those things, women, it's kind of the same way. It's kind of universal. We will go for a certain type of person who is very, very shallow, I guess you could say, and lacks depth, and want depth from them because they fit a societal standard of beauty. Mm-hmm. And when they don't have it, it's, well, I can't be vulnerable with y'all. I can't do this, I can't do that.
It's just like, whoa.
Well, you can. But who you're looking for it from, you're not going to get it from them, babe.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen with them. And I find that happens on both aspects, both sides. You know, sometimes the men with money, that's all they have is money.
Exactly.
So you're looking to him to have money and a heart and a brain. Well, baby, you can't.
He just has pockets. Just pockets.
Pockets, and that's it. So it's like, I think we all could benefit from being realistic.
Yeah.
And understanding that there is nothing wrong with having your own standards. Have them high. That's fine. But be realistic in those standards and understand that if you want someone that has it all, they may not come in a package you're looking for or expect for them to come in, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. That is so true. Yeah. A lot of people ask me like, oh, why don't you ever post your boyfriend? And I do. I post him. But I'm just worried about what the TikTok guys are gonna say. Like,
girl, I would never post. I wouldn't. Listen.
I like to keep my relationship private.
Absolutely.
Like, I found somebody that has all of the things that I want in a
Absolutely.
person. I'm not about to share him with the world.
And shouldn't. I think that privacy, especially if you're a content creator, privacy with your partnership is key.
Yeah.
That should be low key. And I feel that people who turn their partnership into content, that's a dangerous game you play.
Yeah,
you will never catch me doing that, because the world should not have a front row seat to your intimate partnership with somebody. That's sacred.
Yeah.
And so many times I'll see couples turn their relationship into content, and it's like there's only a certain, you're going to get to a certain point where we don't want to see a vlog of y'all going to the mall. No. We're bored. Yeah. What else you got? And at that point, you have to kind of do things to make the content engaging. And that's when you take it out of being a real bond, and now it's just performative. So girl, kudos to you. You ain't seeing nobody until you see a ring and a wedding ring.
Period. And you're just going to get the post on the wedding day. That's it.
Yeah.
And I might still cover his face with my hand.
Okay, might be a real cute little, head grip. We good. Yeah. We're all right, because I believe that privacy is really important. It's necessary. And not everything should be content. Yeah. Not everything's meant to be content. And I think that you cheapen the value of a partnership when you turn it into content.
I also, feel the same way about content creators that turn like vulnerable parts of their life. Like those people that make videos of themselves crying. I'm sorry. You couldn't pay me enough to do that.
Y'all be killing me setting the phone down. Turn the timer on.
Yeah, just to cry. Yes. Hold on, let me make sure the volume is right. It's too much. Like, content creation.
It's a difference when someone is passionately talking and they start to cry in the rant. Yes. Versus we first 3 seconds in and you already bawling. Yeah. You had to set that up. Did you have to retry? Like, did you have to reshoot?
How many takes
did this take? You know? I think that people try to go for vulnerability in the wrong ways. Yeah. And baby, that's one of them. Yeah. I wouldn't suggest that. I don't know.
I don't know what social media has turned the world into, but I literally see videos like that all up and down my timeline. I'm just like,
I would argue that virality is a disease. Yeah. Virality is something that people are craving. Like, people have become obsessed with this idea that all you need is one video post to make it. And they're willing to do whatever they can to get that one shot. But that's a dangerous game you're playing. Because you're willing to do anything for that. And you shouldn't have them kind of morals. Them values should be a little bit more strong than that. People be doing all kind of things just to go viral. Like, these pranks, pranking strangers. In today's day and age.
Don't prank me.
In Texas.
Because the way my reflexes
with no gun laws for real? You want to play with us? Yeah. Okay. So people definitely are willing to go to great lengths just to go viral. And that's, as a content creator, I find it to be very, people be clout chasing. And it's like, you care more about views and followers than I do. Yeah. And I don't know when I got them. Yeah. I don't know.
That. Yes.
People think it's such a big, oh my God, you got all these followers. Yeah, these bills still got to get paid. Like, it's not. People think that having a large following automatically means that you made it and you're good.
No. You still got to keep posting.
Not at all. And I think that, people being on the outside of having a platform and being viral, looking on the inside, they think that it's so much more than what it is. And that creates a desperation to experience it for themselves. And it results in them just doing any and everything they can to get it. Maybe if you have to go out in random streets and prank people to be viral,
you're doing too much. Yeah.
Maybe you should take up, reading. Get a hobby. I just think that people do too much just to be able to say they're known on social media. And it's social media and social acceptance in social media world has gotten to a very dangerous point to me that people are willing to do any. I don't know too much about her for real, but I saw a video of a girl getting a BBL awake.
Girl, yes, I saw that.
What are we doing?
I was like, who is this person, first of all?
What are we doing? Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
You know,
she did, like, I don't know if it was just 1 session or 3, but I saw her a couple of times.
When she was wide awake in the procedure, it's like,
and it didn't look sterile at all. She had on her jewelry.
Didn't look safe.
Yeah, I'm really worried.
And I think that we're just so fixated on having a certain body type that's accepted on social media or being the person to have that catchy or gimmicky content that we are sacrificing our health, our mental health, our physical health. And it's like we're going too far from the plot. We've strayed.
Absolutely.
Far. Way far. It's a little scary.
What's interesting about what you just said, my background, like, I started off in music, and so, like, I was managed by this team of people, and like, everybody was chasing virality at that point too, but it wasn't as easy to obtain as it is now because we didn't have TikTok. And so they would always send me, like, these weird things to do, like, okay, get on social media and post a video doing this, and I'm just like, I felt like a clown.
Yeah.
But I mean, I did it because, you know, we all wanted.
I felt goofy, but I mean,
yuck. Yeah, that's exactly how I felt.
I did it anyway. I don't know.
But then eventually I was just like, man, I'm not going to do this no more. For one, the views don't even be viewing, and it's weird. Like, it's getting really weird.
That's one thing about being a content creator is, like, I don't do too many brand deals.
Yeah.
I don't do too many things that make it forced.
Yeah.
Because it's like, y'all know, this is not how I get out. This is weird.
I just get on here to say something,
you know?
and then I'm going to log off.
I found that if you want to be a successful content creator as far as getting those brand deals, they want you to be a robot and just move how they want you to move, and they'll pay you to do it. And that's cool sometimes, depending on how much you want to pay me.
Exactly.
I might, say something, robot boots. But I like to do it a lot because I've watched content creators who were authentic at first chase that bag and lose that aspect of them, and now they're just a show person, and they're unrelatable, and they're just chasing this content creation bag. And it's like you lost a lot of your integrity with your following because you started prioritizing appealing to brands over appealing to people who were there for you from the beginning, you know?
Exactly.
And that's the hard thing that I struggle with like trying to diversify my brand is like, I want to get those brand deals, but I don't want to do it at the sacrifice of what I've created my content
the community
for and such,
built,
you know? Like with me wearing bonnets on my content, like I'm being told that I should wear them less to, you know, appeal to brands so they can see that I don't always wear them all the time. It's like, okay, but do you really think I'm going to pop up to y'all with a bonnet on my head? Like,
like, I know I have some decorum.
I have some decorum, some sense, you know? And it's hard because it's like, okay, but that's how I started my whole platform.
It would be weird if you didn't.
Just to ditch that part of me, you know? And it gets weird after a while. It does. It does. It's hard. It becomes hard when you want to maintain your authenticity, but you also want to chase that bag.
Yeah.
You know, what do you do? So it's a work in progress.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you on that. I don't get a whole bunch of brand deals either. I feel like as an opinionated content creator, it is a little bit harder.
You need to put that asterisk in there. Yeah. I think that has a role in it too, because I be seeing Becky's be opinionated and they still get them checks.
Yes,
so
and they be saying some wild stuff.
They do,
they do wild stuff. I'll be like,
they do, they absolutely do. So
okay,
I think a lot of times if we're the ones who are posting our opinions and they're controversial, they go against the grain. Them brand deals, they don't want that. Oh, you do all of that? Oh, no, you know,
you say a lot.
You have a lot of thoughts. Your brain works. Ooh, I don't know. You know,
we might have to pass this one up.
Pass on that one and go with somebody else. I find that that's often my experience of like, well, what's somebody who has a different kind of, you know, platform persona? It's like, okay, go find them.
Yeah,
you go right in. I ain't gonna sit in your way. Get out your way.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
What do you think about what happened to Fanita?
We're gonna take a drink real quick. Because that one is, you talking about Tart?
Yes.
Tartgate. Ooh.
Ooh. They got applications on LinkedIn.
Ooh, who got fired? Somebody getting fired.
It was like hella jobs.
Ooh, I bet it was. So, I watched from behind. I just watched the whole thing, just, you know, unfold. And from my perspective, Fanita was too quick to agree with the Tartgate trip because, per my understanding, they hit her up to go on the trip the day of. Like, her flight was the day they hit her up.
Oh, wow.
First of all, whoa.
I don't even have any clothes.
Excuse me. I ain't got no hair. My hair
Shein
ain't
order
got
isn't
no
even here.
clothes.
Yeah.
They wanted her on the plane that night. So that urgency would have been weird to me. Why?
Yeah.
Whoa. What's going on? You know? But it was her first brand trip. She was just so excited to be on a brand trip. She didn't even think things through. But my thing is, she has over 1 million followers.
Yeah.
Almost 2 million, I think. So there should have been leisure built into what they were asking of her.
Yeah.
Why you treat me like I got 100,000 followers?
They could have gave her a grace period.
You know, there should have been a built-in, we're here on your time type of deal. So them wanting her to show up the day of was odd. Second of all, she's not a makeup content creator.
That's what I thought was weird too.
Why does a makeup brand want someone who is not in makeup to go on their brand trip the day of?
Yeah, because she rarely wears makeup. You know,
and it's not no shade to her, but it's just like, I know if a makeup brand hit me up in the same predicament, I'd be thinking, what y'all want with me? Because I ain't done a makeup review nowhere on my page. I haven't done anything makeup related at all. So why do y'all want me? You know, I think it's important for Black creators to have a certain level of skepticism in who reached out to us and why. And she didn't have that. And I think that kind of bit her in the butt at the end. Also, I personally am not quick to befriend every content creator that I come across. Yeah. Because
content creators do be doing
fake.
Yeah.
No key, no shade.
That's why I'm so glad I do not live in LA.
Girl,
I really wanted to move
there. You could pay me.
But everybody there is a content creator. Everything is content.
It's giving, I'm a content creator where it's like when I'm on and I'm working. When I'm not, I'm off. So when I go out, I'm not worried about trying to get no videos. I'm trying to be out. I'm trying to enjoy myself. So I feel like there are creators out there where every time I go out, we got to get a video. No, we don't.
No, please.
No, we don't. We actually don't. I'm one of those. And a lot of times, the ones that I've met, they are still in content creation mode. And that's the light switch for me. It goes off and on whenever I want it to. So for her to have linked up with Lapels and Lens Crafters, whatever her name is, I don't like her. She's very anti-American, Black Americans. I'm not a fan of hers. But for her to have linked up with her, and for Fanita to have linked up with her, and they got so close on that trip, I feel like the other girl, what's her real name?
I can't remember.
I call her everything wrong. I call her monochrome. I call her everything wrong. So I can't remember her real name. But you know what I'm talking about. She latched on to Fanita because Fanita had more followers, had more of a pull, and they attacked the main girl. What's her name?
I honestly just read comments and saw I
was immersed. I can't remember their name.
I was just like, what?
So the first girl who left the trip, right?
The Black girl.
Yeah. Fanita and Lens Crafters and Lapels attacked that girl.
What?
Absolutely. Because she went for it. So I can't remember her name. I think it starts with an M. I'm going to say Mary. I can't remember her name. So Mary went and attacked Tarte because Tarte sent her the wrong email and gave her the itinerary of a white creator. And that creator's itinerary was longer than hers. Ooh. So she went and made a video to TikTok saying, calling out Tarte, saying it was racially insensitive and like she was uncomfortable and wanted to leave. And that's why they got Fanita to come on the trip, was trying to kind of make up for PR.
Okay, I heard that
Make up for that.
Yeah.
So when Fanita and Lapels and Lip Crafters got on the trip, they began to attack Mary and say, you're lying, they're not racist, they didn't say that, they didn't do that. But girl, Tarte doesn't even have our shading foundation. So let's racist. Let's pause. Okay?
And it's a little dry.
Okay. So they made lives, made videos, just slandering this girl's name, and said some potentially legally incriminating things like we saw her contract. That's not okay. Mentioned things about negotiations, just like they said a lot of things that if Tarte wanted to sue, they could sue. It's serious. It's been quiet recently, but we don't know why it's been quiet.
That's what I was about to say, because I haven't seen anybody from that trip post.
It's gotten quiet, but the lives and the videos, which we're all deleted now, but people have got screen recordings and everything.
Yeah.
Both Fanita and lapels. What's that girl name? I can't remember. Anyway, they said some really potentially incriminating things. And so it's going to be interesting to see how things play out. But I think Black creators just have to be wary when brands want to work with us quickly. We got to ask why and figure out why. Because Fanita had no idea at first what was going on. So when people were in her comments calling her, you know, a sellout, calling her a token, she doubled down and began to, she didn't know what was going on, but she doubled down and said, I guess I am then, instead of trying to figure out what was going on. You need to be, listen, Black folk don't call you token for no reason. That's kept in the back pocket too. So us calling you coon token, you need to figure out why. If I ever went live and someone said, you a coon for what?
I'm logging off immediately.
What did I say? Shut this all off. What happened?
I gotta do some research.
What's going on? Because we're not calling y'all that for a random reason. So I think that Fanita, I hope she learned to question before you agree, and to not befriend every content creator you come across, because some of them are fake. Like Fanita was on these videos fighting for her life and defending this girl, and the girl wasn't defending Fanita at all after a while. So it's like, you need to make sure you support the right people, because some folks out here are fake. So yeah, that's how I feel about that. I feel, because she's young, Fanita's young, so I hope that she takes it as a learning lesson and evolves and moves on from it. But she doubled down in ways that I wouldn't think she should have. She could have easily played the dumb role. I had no idea. I was just on a trip enjoying myself, you know, but she claimed that she did know. It's like, ooh, well, girl, your PR team is not PRing. Like,
I don't even know if she has PR.
And you know, that's the other part. People don't realize content creators are regular people. Who just got a lot of followers out of nowhere. Not all of us know how to answer questions, know how to handle
we don't have
media situations,
training.
no media training, you know, and it be showing in these kind of situations. Like, baby, that was not the way you should have done that.
Exactly.
You could have went under the radar real quick. You decided to be real loud.
Deactivate.
You know? So I hope she gets a PR team. I hope she gets a different manager. I just hope she learns and just evolves, you know. So yeah, we'll see.
I agree. With everything that you just said, I felt really bad for her.
I did too.
Because like, people were slandering her, and I was just like, oh no, like,
social media is dangerous, and that's one thing that I will say as a content creator. You have to have a certain healthy distance from your followers, because one post and they can become your worst enemy.
Yes,
real quick. And people look at your follower count and think that it's all sweet. If I make one post and
I can have 100,000 haters,
wrong, that's a wrap. I'm doxxed. People finding my address, my phone number.
No, seriously.
You know, it gets really real, really fast. And I find that people don't think about that part of every post I make. I'm running a risk of my follower count or followers coming back at me and attacking me sideways. Every post, every day, it's that kind of risk.
Yeah.
And when I say livelihood, I mean people be losing their jobs.
No, seriously.
Losing their housing. Like, it gets very, very, very serious. And you're chasing virality so bad, you aren't thinking about the responsibility of virality. It's a responsibility to have that kind of pull to where when you make posts, they go viral. That is serious.
Yeah.
And people will have that kind of power and abuse it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a lot to do this. It's a lot.
I agree with you. I totally agree. Especially with what you said about having the power to go viral and not using it in the right way, which is actually why I started this podcast. I'm like, okay, if I get people to watch my stuff on TikTok, I might as well try and project a positive message.
Absolutely.
Even if it's not always on my platform. I just want people to know there is a little bit of positivity.
There's variety out there. Yeah. I think, you know, anybody can have a podcast nowadays, and that's not a good thing, you know. So I think it is good to have those of us out there who are trying to use our platform to show more positive voices, because it's a lot of negative voices out there that are just loud for no reason. So I commend you for deciding to take it a step further and making your own podcast as well, because
thank you.
We need these kind of platforms to be more prevalent.
I agree.
You know, less of the male ones, more of these. You know?
No, seriously. The male ones just be spraying stupidity.
I don't know if I'll ever be on one, for real. Like, I'm very choosy of whose shows I agree to go on, because I'm not one to just get mad for no reason. And I refuse to go on a podcast with somebody whose views I don't align with.
Girl, same. Like,
what?
Kevin Samuels.
You couldn't pay me.
Everybody
my
wanted me to
gosh.
go on his show, and I'm just
Really?
like, absolutely not.
Girl, no.
And they were like, you're scared. I'm like, no,
What's the
I'm
other
wise.
one? It's another incel type of podcast. It's two
Andrew
of them.
Tate.
That, honey, all of those, you would never catch me on any of those kind of
Me
podcasts.
either.
For what?
I'm a girl's girl.
Okay, always. Can't relate.
Me
Can't
either.
relate.
Andrew Tate just he posts the same video like every week of him in a suit with all his friends walking across the street. I'm like,
where y'all going?
Yeah.
What's the end goal?
What is the intention?
What building are y'all walking into? Where y'all going?
And most
All this
importantly,
walking.
are the suits rented or owned?
Okay, are they yours? Is it Men's Warehouse? It's a little loose.
No, for real.
It's a little loose around the waist. Is
Yeah.
it yours? Like,
Seriously though,
who these men out here, child? Lord of mercy.
I just feel like everybody's performative at this point.
Very much so. And it makes it very hard to try to, it makes it very, not even hard is not the right word. It makes it very disheartening when you're trying to meet people who are also on the same level as you as far as being themselves. And you just see people who are just fake. Just fake, just all over the place. It's
Everybody's
like, wow.
just so ingenuine, especially like when you try to make friends or even like find somebody to make content with. You're just like, I don't know.
There's definitely like a lack. There's a missing key there, and it's like, this is my last time doing this.
Yes, every time it's my last time.
Well, this was nice. We
Yeah.
gonna see it again.
Catch me on Instagram.
All right. Follow me. All right. I feel that. Like I said, I'm very choosy with who I agree to go on shows with, because there have been times I've gone on shows and like in the middle of the show, I'm like, oh yeah, we can wrap this up right now. We can go ahead and
Girl,
cut the cameras, dead ass.
when I was solely focusing on my career as an artist, the type of podcast and interviews that they would have me going on, they would be asking me all kinds of questions that I like did not align with, but I would answer them in a way that was like roundabout. Never really gave a direct answer. But
So what's worse, a
eventually,
gay son or a thought daughter?
yeah,
Can
I'm
we
like,
please?
whoa.
Can we focus? My song comes out on Friday.
Thank you. Everybody, please stream it.
What are we asking this question for? Yeah, I get that.
It was always that. Or they would book me like, oh, you're going to be in this guy's music video. And I'm like, okay, well, let me hear the song. And it's just like ass, titties. And I'm just like, okay.
Why do you think I wanted to be on this show?
I was like, my brand personally just does not align with this.
Absolutely.
And they're like, oh, okay, well, good for you.
Oh.
Then I never heard from them again. But like, why would you book
Not good for
me
you.
a show like that?
People think that views is what matters.
Absolutely
and
not here.
alignment. And it's like, no.
And I think
I'd rather
that's
get
what
10 views, somebody that I'm aligned with,
Exactly.
than a million with somebody that I cannot stand. You
exactly.
know?
I think that's what's taking so long for me to see like my manifested success,
I feel that.
because I focus so much on whether like it aligns with my personal and moral values. Even when it comes to like looking for jobs, like I always ask those personal career questions. I'm like, okay, well, what was the reason this last person left this corporation?
Absolutely. But that's there isn't anything wrong with that. I think that social media doesn't help, but we have such a microwave view of success. Like, it doesn't happen in 30 seconds. I guess
You're
it's not-
done.
It's not happening.
Yeah.
And I struggle with that too. I mean, you see people on social media who, I quit my job and I made $1 million. Like, it's so, the people are lying.
Yeah, I was about to
But
say, it's cap.
It's cap in the hat. But it does get to you at times where you feel like, damn, am I not doing enough? What's
Yeah,
going on?
like
But
I thought I
think
was
that
posting.
slow and steady will always win the race. And if you are focusing on what you're aligned with, you are building a sustainable success.
Absolutely.
A lot of times people who are going for the short term is short term. And they
Yes.
rise fast and they fall just as fast.
And I think
yeah,
that's the society that we live in, because if you notice, like, celebrity culture is dying. Like,
absolutely.
I used to stand Raven Baxter. But I haven't had a stand like that since Raven.
Yeah.
Like, I never ever connected with anyone.
Yeah.
I love my girl Meg, but I just have not connected with a celebrity like that in so long. But with influencers and content creators like yourself, I find that I share a connection with them. I don't know if it's the relatability or the fact that they go and do some of the same things that I do, because I feel like we don't really get to see into celebrities' lives the way we get to.
The mystery. The mystery of celebrity life used to be appealing, but now it's not, because social media, we're seeing each other in our own dens, in our living room, in our homes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have a home too. Like, that's
Yeah.
crazy, you know. That's wild.
couch.
Yeah, like, I got a couch. I got that same couch, you know. So having that kind of relatability, I think, makes us appeal to influencers more than a celebrity living in a $15 million home. You know?
I'm not gonna say never, but that you can't get right now.
It's a definite difference, and it used to be an allure to that, but now it's like, man, why am I listening to you? You know?
Yeah.
So I can see that.
And celebrities just don't really have the depth that content creators have.
Not at all.
They don't ever talk about anything.
That's because PR is on their ass. That's why. They can't talk about nothing. They gotta chase that bag. Like, that makes sense for them because they are laced with PR and management, trying to make sure that whatever they say is okay enough to secure more brand deals, you know, speaking gigs, singing gigs, whatever the case may be. But we don't have that. Mm-mm. So there's more of a freedom for us to speak our mind because we're not having to worry about getting an acting role with Disney. You know? It's a whole different level of standard and expectation between us and people who are actually already celebrities. So that makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah. And I feel like now you're going to see more of a rise of influencers just because we find that we can relate to them more. But you'll notice that just as quickly as an influencer makes it, the quickest, like, we're on to someone else, somebody else that we find interesting. Or
that's
someone
why
else
I find that steady building. Like, I would consider me an influencer since like 2016.
Wow.
But I started on Twitter, and I've been growing from Twitter to Instagram to TikTok and so on and so forth. But I think having sustainable growth that is very slow and steady is how you ensure that you will be around for a long time. That's why I'm not quick. I don't want 15 minutes of fame. I want 15 years.
Hello.
Okay. So I'm not too worried about having that one viral video. I want all of them. You know, I want as many as possible over time and continuous growth. But people are more focused on that one video. Yeah. And it's like, you can have it, but then you box yourself into where you want to make the same kind of content that got you the million views, but you're boxing you into being that one kind of person. So now you're only relevant if you are eating birthday cakes and that's what you're known for. You know, like, you see those kind of weird content creators where it's like you got virality off of this really one weird act, and that's all you do is just this weird act.
Over and over again.
I didn't want to do that. So I think, just going back to what you were saying, the slow and steady will always win the race, even though it doesn't feel like it at times. And there are times where it does not feel like it. Yeah. Trust me, I know. But I have to remind myself that, you know, the path that I'm on isn't anyone else's my path but my own. And I can't look at what everyone else got going on and try to compare me to that because that's them. Exactly. I can't look at that and worry about what I'm doing and what I'm not doing because that's them. And it's kind of reaffirming when I see the fast rise and fast fall. Like, okay, the slow and steady is different. It's for a reason. But I get that. It's frustrating at times.
Yeah, it really is. But like you said, it's reassuring when you see the rise fast and then fast fall. And I also look at the type of success that I want to have. Like, I want a Tabitha Brown story. Okay. Like,
she's right. I'm trying to have her know me in her phone. Okay. Same. I don't want it to be this just real quick.
I do want to get casted on one of her shows.
I'm going to. Into existence.
Period.
Somewhere with Issa laughing it up. Rap girl, somebody gonna know me, okay?
Literally.
That's where I'm looking. It's like, I don't worry about having a million likes or having a million views. I want people I want my name in people's phones. Like, I want to be that close to people. Yes. You know? So that's where I'm trying to go. So yeah, we gonna get there, girl. I ain't worried about that.
I know that's right. Well, it was such a pleasure having you on the show today.
Thank you so much for inviting me. This was a joy. I'll be back. Don't worry. I'll be back.
And be sure to let everybody know your social media. I mean, they already know where to follow you, but you can go ahead and tag
y'all know. No, you can definitely follow me. It's the same handle between TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. It is at The City Noir. I also have a podcast. It is called Can We Talk About It? That can be found on Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Do I have everything?
You said
I also sell bonnets.
Her.
If you're wanting your own bonnet that comes with hair ties, you can tie it around your head so it doesn't fall off when you sleep at night. Holler at your girl. It's also on my social media as well, so you'll see it on there too. What were you going to say?
Yes. You said, can we talk about it wrong?
I did.
Yeah.
Okay, no, but can we talk about it?
Period.
I'm so sorry to have done my thing.
She said it all proper. Can we talk about it? The podcast, like, what? No.
I had to make sure they could hear me. But yes. Thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoyed this.
Girl, thank you so much. I'm so glad that we were able to set this up and that you were able to make it. And I can't wait to have you back.
Don't worry about it. It's going to happen.
Period. Well, y'all heard it here first. Be sure to tune in to Can We Talk About It? And absolutely not. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and be sure to tune in next week for a new episode. Love you. Bye.